Every day we read lots of documents. Some are on paper, but many are online. Some are well designed, but some are not so good. Let's talk about what makes a document accessible. First, let me mention who benefits from accessible design. You might think of people that are vision impaired, those with dyslexia, or people who are colorblind. And you would certainly be correct. Accessible design helps those people, but it also helps everybody else. It helps everybody else when a document is easy to read and understand. So how can you create an accessible document? Here are some things that you can do to make your documents more accessible. Use clear headings that describe what is contained in that body of text. Use bulleted lists. Use meaningful hyperlinks which describe in the link what is being linked to. Use a sans serif font like Arial or Helvetica and try to use at least font size 12. Make good use of white space to break up the text and to make everything more readable. If you include a picture, add alternate text underneath to describe what is pictured in the image. And try to use colors with high contrast. Here are a couple examples of good use of contrast and poor use of contrast. Notice in the poor use of contrast that the green is really hard to read with the red text over it. This would be especially difficult for someone who is colorblind for red and green. It would be completely unreadable. Really, it's best to avoid using color to emphasize points at all, as this makes it really difficult for people who are vision impaired and can't see or can't see colors at all. So just try to avoid it in general. A good example of accessible design that most of us are familiar with is Wikipedia. Notice that clear and descriptive headings break down the document into different paragraphs and sections. Links to other articles are descriptive in what they are linking to. Images within the text include alternate text underneath them which describe what is pictured in the image. Also notice that there is plenty of white space in between the paragraphs, which helps to make the document more easy to read. And finally, notice that Wikipedia is written in font size 12 in a nice sans serif font, Arial. One last thing that I'd like to point out is this heading styles box at the top of Microsoft Word. If you are writing a document using Microsoft Word, be sure to create your headings using the different heading styles as opposed to just increasing the font size and making your text larger. When you use actual headings contained in the heading style, it makes it so that people using screen readers to read your document are able to actually distinguish the headings from the actual body of the text.